bringing somebody on that is going to hopefully impart some additional knowledge on us. Because listen, when we had the idea to get Carmen Angelo on, I was very excited. This is a legit newsman, executive producer of the Mike Trevisano show here in Cleveland back in the day. He was the co-host and news anchor of Bloom Daddy and is now the new news anchor for iHeartMedia's Total Traffic and News Network. Our friend who's going to join us today for these games, Carmen Angelo. Let's welcome him to the show.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, there he is. Carmen.
What's happening?
Thank you very much, man. We are excited to have you on. We wanted to start today and do a little bit of an interview, get some information that, it's not necessarily easy to come by. We're a couple of dummy, thick idiots who are veterans.
Sorry, that makes three up. Well, number one, thank you for your service. Means the world to me, my family. I come from a long line of Marines, Navy guys, and as the Marines and Navy guys would say, my father was a member of Aren't Ready for Marines Yet, but that's that camaraderie and the bond that the branches have. And I know you guys are both two Army guys. Love the Army. One of my dear friends, Travis Mills, who I'm sure the two of you are very familiar with. I don't care what branch, what service, any man or woman that raises his or her right hand to protect guys like me and the rest of us, we love you, and you got my support forever.
Thank you very much, Carmen. Thank you very much for your support.
Absolutely.
Well, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let me make sure, did I get all of the things that about you correct? You were the executive producer of Mike Trevisano show, co-host, news anchor on Bloom Daddy, and I know we talked about it. You texted me the other day and told me that you were the new anchor for the Total Traffic and News Network. All of that is still accurate, still right?
Yeah, essentially, I'll be doing news nationally for iHeart subsidiary, Total Traffic and News Network, as you said. Don't know exactly what my defined role is going to be. There's been some sweeping change throughout our company the last 10 days or so. But yeah, I will. I know I'll certainly be anchoring newscasts at the top and bottom of the hour out on the West Coast. Other parts of the country, I guess, yet to be determined. I'll find that out probably in the next 5 business days.
All right, great. Well, congratulations on the new gig with iHeart. I know you've been there for a long, long time. That's when we originally met. Was at iHeart.
Yeah, we originally met at iHeart, and then I think we were reacquainted on the sidelines of was it the St. Ed's Massillon game or the St. Ed's Hoban game? Or maybe the St. Joe Prep game. Oh, was the St. Ed's Hoban game?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jim Kaler, you were with Jim Kaler, and Jimmy's son, Petey, is the athletic director at St. Ed. So it was my honor to obviously meet you at our studios at 668 Euclid, and then, maybe 8 months later, reacquainted on the sidelines. And, I'm happy to be here, boys.
Wow, man, thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate it very much. So with that, let's get it kicked off. Evo, I know you had one specific question that we talked about a little bit before that I feel like is a great way to kick this off. So go ahead, brother.
Yeah, for sure. So Carmen, what kind of started you off getting into broadcasting, media, things like that? Was it something that you kind of felt like you wanted to do when you were younger, or did you end up going to school and college and finding that it was something that you wanted to do? And then from there, were you always wanting to kind of be on radio, or did you want to do other sorts of media as well?
It's funny. My father and I, not to sound corny, but my father used to take me to nursery school every day, and he would always have WERE on at the time, which was only a 5,000 watt stick, but it was essentially the number one news talk station in Cleveland. And on our 5-minute, 10-minute drive to Mother Goose Nursery School from Fairview to Rocky River, my dad would have that on, and I became interested in radio. I became interested in current events, and fast forward a couple years, I end up at St. Angelo Merici Grade School in Fairview Park, and I'll never forget it. I don't know how much time you guys have or how long you want me, but I could go on forever.
Time.
But I just want to cite one of the reasons that led me into basically journalism. When I was at St. Angela, and our first grade teacher, Mrs. Mazzella, was teaching us how to read, she would have contests. I can't remember what they entailed, but the process of learning to read was fun. She made it fun. And I became a voracious reader when I was 7 years old, 8 years old. I used to get to St. Angelo about 7 in the morning, and I would go to the library and I would read the New York Times. I would read the Cleveland Press. I would read everything I possibly could before my school day started. And I became a junkie for current events, whether they were domestic or global. It was crazy. I was pretty well informed as a young kid, simply because Mrs. Mazzella made the process of learning how to read fun with these contests that she held for us, and she would award us prizes. And that ultimately led me to my life in journalism, whether it's print or broadcast.
Awesome, outstanding. So I assume then you did go to school for
Yeah,
journalism. Do you
yeah.
think we've got Mike? He's post army career doing this, going to school at Cleveland State, a lot of stuff with sports media and marketing. And myself, who I'm still kind of carrying out my post military / military career, and we're trying to combine to have these different sorts of media outlets with a specific look at sports here in the Lineman Lounge, but a lot of other content underneath the No Sleeves Network that we're a part of. Do you think that it is absolutely necessary for someone to be going through like a collegiate route to find access to media and journalism and whatnot, or can someone like me who's kind of on the sidelines working their way in find a spot as well?
One thing about higher education is you can gain internships. You can go to your guidance counselor, and he or she may have available internships in your desired field. And as we know, those internships get your foot in the door. And obviously, you could get, by doing an internship, you could get 4 credit hours toward graduation, maybe 6 credit hours. And some internships even pay. But I can tell you, that is that's huge. And this is no disrespect. I attended Cleveland State as well. I attended St. Edward High School, and guys, I can tell you, the English classes, the way that I was taught how to write when I was at St. Ed's, I didn't need any higher level education English wise, or to show me how to compose and to show me how to write for print. They taught me how to write, and I was able to write for print, and obviously I could write for broadcast. Now higher education, again, will offer you opportunities that you can't get like right off the street, just being maybe a high school grad. You go see your guidance counselor, maybe he or she has a couple of openings that are available throughout that market, and you try and get in there. But I could tell you, St. Ed's prepared me so well for what I do today.
Well,
Awesome.
yeah, St. Ed's is a fantastic school here in Cleveland, Evo. Well, we got to go to that game. That's where we got to reconnect. Very good football program as well. Graydon was there, got to take a look, was very interested as well. So St. Ed's is a fantastic school. It's great that they prepared you that well. I'm one of those people that when I write, I write very similar to how I speak. So going back and having to continue to write.
No, well, that's, what, a lot of people, so many people are stuck in writing AP style. And I encourage kids, speak conversationally. Speak as if, you're at your buddy's house and you're watching a football game. Speak conversationally. As a matter of fact, my old news director, R.C. Bauer, he corrected me one day for speaking too properly because I used the phrase "I shall." Most people say "I will." St. Ed's taught me that it's "I shall," and I'm like, oh, that's going to be a hard habit to break, but coming out of, going into a break, I would say something like, I shall be back on WTAM 1100, and he's like, no, I'll be back. I'll be back, but that's the English education I received at St. Edward High School.
All right. So
I think that's a big thing, though, especially right now in today's climate in America and political climate and everything, is authenticity. People can see the authenticity, whether it's there or not. and that, probably led a lot into our presidential election and whatnot, good or bad authenticity. You're getting the real person that you're seeing out there in some of these places.
Absolutely. Let's go, baby. It's a new day in America. 45 and 47.
Absolutely.
So between sports and news.
Sorry, did I do a no there?
Oh, no. You're
Not at all.
totally fine. We do not. You can talk about anything that you want to talk about. We will agree or we will disagree, and we can have that conversation civilly anytime. You are allowed to say whatever you want. You are not going to be censored on this program.
Well, no, that's what makes this world great. I got so many liberal friends, and I respect their opinion. And at the end of the day, I want to keep them as friends, and all I ask is for their respect. But hey, since last Tuesday, I'm on top of the world, man. Let's go.
So when you're talking about the news, which one is harder to deal with? Cleveland sports, politics?
Well, Cleveland sports. I mean, we got a couple good things going in the Guardians and the Cavaliers. I mean, the Cavaliers are just off to a historic start as a franchise. The Browns, they're an absolute joke. As long as Truck Stop Jimmy owns that franchise, we ain't got a shot, boys. Don't have a shot. Here I am. I'm talking conversationally, telling you we ain't got a shot. But what rolls downhill, and Jimmy Haslam has proven to be not a very good owner, and it is what it is. I will say, I mean, he made a lot of money with Pilot Flying J. I give him credit for that, but he did buy a big piece of the Milwaukee Bucks, and that was about 2 years ago, and they're not faring very well. So it's almost like he's schlep rock. Anything he touches in a professional sporting world turns to doo-doo.
All right. So are we placing blame for the things that have happened then on Jimmy, or is there a failure in what we have seen in the front office as well from this year?
It's Jimmy, 100%. I mean, this is a guy that, we are cursed as Browns fans with Jimmy and D Haslam at the top. Then people say, well, we need a new coach, or, Andrew Berry's got to go. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Andrew Berry, and I think the culture that is with the Cleveland Browns right now, from Kevin Stefanski, he's not. You guys were in the military. I respond best to guys, who will give me a crack. Okay. I'm not saying, that I grew up with a bunch of World War II veterans and Korean War guys, my father and my uncles. All right.
Sometimes you got to get in that ass.
Oh, absolutely. You can't be a player's friend. When you guys were in the military, were your superiors your friends? They were hard as hell on you, and they were only hard as hell on you because they loved you and wanted to get the best out of you. Kevin Stefanski isn't going to chew somebody's ass out or ride somebody's ass. If I was a coach and I saw guys come out the stretch, maybe in minicamp with slides on or Crocs, whatever, I'm running the dog shit out of them. They're not even taking part in practice. They're running until they freaking puke. Sorry.
I feel it.
Oh, hey, listen, I'm here for it, man. I'm absolutely here for it. Evo, you got another question?
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, like, the culture change there, it seems like there does need to be that culture change, but that's something that I've kind of been pointing to is Jimmy Haslam, like, where is the issue right now with the Browns? And it does kind of trend all the way towards the top. Deshaun Watson being that biggest crux point recently, who authorized that deal? Well, it's the guy who's signing the checks. It's Jimmy Haslam. He's trying to make a big move this team. Obviously quarterback is the most important position on the field for the Browns, but going after that guy with that amount of money in the trade capital, it's a tough sell, and it's had ripple effects throughout the rest of the team. And it's tough when you bring a guy like that in for the rest of the team to kind of respect the organization. So I feel like Stefanski, while he definitely isn't the guy to get in someone's ass, he's also kind of on his heels because he's like, I've got no good backing here, like with the culture in general on this team.
Well, he's hamstrung, boys. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm sure Kevin Stefanski is a guy that loves to use a tight end, and he loves to pound the rock. I mean, how many times have we seen 12 personnel with Kevin Stefanski? And before Deshaun Watson started to go downhill, he was an athlete. He was a quarterback who was also an athlete. And he didn't fit Kevin Stefanski's system. They had to kind of tailor a new offense around him. Kevin Stefanski's a great guy. He went to Penn with a couple of kids that I took under my wing, some St. Ed's kids way back in the day. He's a great guy by all accounts, great family man. But as far as the leader of this team, I don't think he has what it takes. I don't know. I'm stuck in the Eisenhower administration, boys. I want a guy like Lombardi, Parcells, Belichick, somebody that's going to ride my ass. I'm going to hate it. Growing up with my father was a son of a bitch. Okay. And I hated it. I couldn't stand it. But when I got to about 23, 24 years of age, I'm like, God damn, that old man was right. Shame on me.
We were talking about coaches here just recently because the Cowboys appear like they might need a coach. Evo asked me who the best candidate for that job was, and it's B-Flow, Brian Flores. If B-Flow's leaving Minnesota and we're not keeping Kevin, he can come right down the road. I'll take Brian Flores here. I'd love that. You want to talk about a culture change, Brian Flores is the guy that'll give you that.
See, the thing is, though, boys, Flores he's a type A. He's a dog, okay? Jimmy Haslam doesn't want a dog. I had Greg Williams. You remember Greg Williams, defensive coordinator, longtime defensive coordinator, interim head coach for the Browns. I had him speak to the St. Ed's football team on Wednesday before their playoff game Friday. They could have kept Coach Williams. Coach Williams is a dog. He'll get in your ass. You guys saw him on Hard Knocks. Guys weren't performing, and he was MFing them in front of everybody in the locker room. Being humiliated could be a hell of a motivator. You get up somebody's ass. That's the kind of guy we need. Flores, I don't know if he's to that extreme. Flores will be your coach. He'll coddle you when needed, but he'll also boot you in the ass. I don't think Jimmy Haslam wants to bring in a type A dog or alpha type coach. I truly don't.
That makes me very sad to hear.
Sorry. And you know what? Would you want to work for Jerry Jones if Mike McCarthy's out in Big D? I don't think Jerry Jones wants to hire a guy like Flores isn't going to take any of his crap. That guy, as Bill Parcells would say, buys all the groceries. The coaching staff doesn't have any say in what personnel's coming in or, who they're going to draft on draft day. It's Jerry and Steven, point blank.
Eric seems to agree with you. Haslam wants a yes man.
Who agrees with me?
Eric Dunlap. Comments coming in here. Thanks, Eric, for popping in, by the way.
Yes, sir.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up because we got a lot of gambling to get to, but I got one more question. Kind of the big one. Any advice for this next generation, guys like me, Evo, who are finding different avenues into the space, sports fans, people that want to be broadcasters, how they can kind of, things that they can do to make their way into the business?
Well, I'll tell you, boys, I don't want to say it's the way of the future because it's currently happening. Podcasts are it. You guys are doing the right thing. Look at Rogan, crushing it. Okay, and he's been crushing it now for 10 years with this podcast, maybe even more. I can't remember specifically when he went on the air, but print journalism is a thing of the past. Newspapers, heck, in Cleveland, I think we only get the Cleveland Plain Dealer 4 days a week now. It used to be daily. We used to have 2 newspapers in this town. I remember when Jay Mariotti left the Chicago Tribune in 05 or 06, and he went to Yahoo Sports. He started writing for the internet. I'm thinking, man, is he crazy? He's got a great gig. Well, lo and behold, we have seen what has happened to the newspaper industry. So many big papers have gone by the wayside. Now, what I do, broadcast journalism, it's a tough field to get into. You only have a few number of companies nationwide, and there aren't a lot of jobs. I think podcasts and what you guys are doing right now is the way to go. The only problem is.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. We lost Carmen.
Lost Carmen.
Right there at the good part. We'll try to get him back here. Oh,
But either way, this is awesome to hear from him. Someone, who's kind of like a legend there in the Cleveland sports media space. So it's really cool to hear all this information, especially for you, Mike, going to school to do all this sort of stuff, and helping promote our Lineman Lounge brand, the No Sleeves Network, and everything, and kind of build up. It's awesome to be able to hear that you are taking some of the right steps, that we are taking some of the right steps, in order to kind of grow the brand and become bigger in this space. So that's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah. So when all of this kind of started, we started this in Arizona. Well, I guess I started this in Arizona. It's just me. You came along not too far into it, and we started kind of working into the space. It was a lot of fun. But when I made that decision to leave Arizona and pursue this idea, like fully, was a huge. It was. I mean, it's scary as shit because there's no way to know if any of this is going to work out in the end or not. Left a great place, great job with a lot of great people down there in Arizona. But to chase this dream, to find a way to get into sports media, it's been a journey for sure to kind of go from where I was to where I am now. So Carmen, you were saying, sorry about that.
No
you
idea
were
what
thinking
happened, but we're back.
me neither. But you were saying about it kind of seems like we are doing the right thing. We're on the right track and where we're going.
Absolutely, 100%. And anybody that has similar questions as the two of you, follow the path. The same path, because podcasts are going to grow even bigger and better, in my opinion, and more in demand.
All right. And Carmen, last thing, if you know of any of those internships laying around, I'm probably going to be looking for one coming this summer. So you let me know.
One thing, unfortunately, I can tell you is that iHeart did away with our internship program about 10 years ago. So my apologies.
That's okay. It's all right. I will not hold that against
Wait
you.
a second. You're connected to Jim Kaler. You got
That is very
juice.
true.
I'm sure he could land you guys an internship somewhere.
Yeah. So I've already had one with the Browns as a salesperson.
Oh my God, here I am, not speaking too fondly of your old boss.
Oh no, it's okay. I did not work directly for Jimmy. I worked for the Cleveland Browns Foundation through Cleveland State as an internship. So I didn't technically work for them. So, however, I do have credentials upstairs that are pretty cool.
There you go. I don't think I'll ever be credentialed, but that's okay.
Not if you keep talking like that about Jimmy, you're not.
Well, I mean, this is nothing I haven't said on the air. So, yeah, I highly doubt I'm ever going to get a credential for the Browns, but that's okay. And my phone's ringing. I am an idiot. Hold on. This is a guy who's a big back. Hey, I'm doing a podcast right now with the Lineman Lounge. You told me you would call me back a half hour ago, and that was 7:30 this morning. I'll call you back later. I got to ask you about the game. Sorry, boys.
There we go. Thank you, God.
Life, man. This is no bullshit.
Oh, man. Well, all right, Evo, are we ready to transition? We're going to change gears here. We're going to tear this thing up a little bit. I'm going to crack this fucking beer and let's bet on some football. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. Let's jump into it.